All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, everybody. How you doing? Happy Monday to you wherever you are. Today is the 6th of October 2025. We got just 2 months left to the end of 2025, and we just got to give God the glory for watching over us, protecting us, and making us come this far. And I pray the Almighty God we continue to watch over us beyond 2025. All right. This is going to be a very fast show. I pray it's a fast show if the new format actually work with us. And talking about the new format, it's not like we really change a lot, but what we simply do is that I'm going to present all the cases we want to review during the introduction, and then we get the real fam, anyone who are coming to the studio to give their take on each of the topic on that review, and also those in the chat can also contribute their quota. I want to believe you are having a fantastic day. I know God is a merciful God, and I know He's watching over us. So wherever you are right now, if you're at work, can you please put on your earpiece, okay, and listen to this fantastic conversation. And if you're on your way back from work, for those in the UK or in Nigeria, it's time to turn up your car stereo and enjoy this fantastic episode with us. And of course, if you are home, if you are balancing right now, like I can imagine people like Sissy, they are already balanced at home with their cup of coffee and popcorn, ready to begin gas boost. People like Abby, I know Abby, I told you guys, I really don't like all these people that work from home. Are they jealous? Are they jealous? These guys that work from home, it's like they don't work at all. So they have all the time in the world to catch all the fun, everything that is going on all over the world. They have the time to enjoy it. All right, let's get this show started. I see the real fam in the building already. You welcome everybody. I see my beautiful baby Bilba, my own sweet sister Biba from Canada. What's up, Biba? How'd it go now? I see you, Simbi. What's up? Uncle Emeka is early today. I think we have to send Don Pedro to Uncle Emeka for being here as early as possible. My own Abby, and I just talked about Abby now. Work from home people, lazy people, them. Welcome, Abby. All right. I don't know if Abby is free. My plan is to just have this show run for 1 hour, but if Abby is free, she can hold down the fort. The conversation can continue. I would really love that. I see you, my Sissy. How come as I mention on her name, that's when they show up? Sissy, no greet me. Oh, I don't like people who work from home. And my brother Chucky, how you doing, Baba? Congratulations at the weekend. I see your team is doing fantastically okay. The team Arsenal them. All right. Please hit the like button as you come in. And then our own silencer Wahala sister in the building. Sue, what's up, mommy? The Wahala sister. Na Sue be female Odogun silencer. All right, that's it. Because of the story we have to cover, I guess I have to move very, very fast. All right. So let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome, my people. So, what are we talking about in this episode? I'm on the process of changing our studio anyway, so I think very soon you guys will be seeing a new studio. I've bought everything, but I'm just too lazy to start doing the work. All right, Uncle Patrick in the building. Welcome, Uncle Patrick. So, on today's episode, we want to cover three main stories, and then we can add any other story. But the three main story for today is imported husband stolen. Yeah, you heard that right. So please listen very well, my people. Let me give you the rundown as quick as I can. So we're going to talk about imported husband stolen. And by the way, if you haven't got my own beautiful sister book, Auntie B, The Imported Wives, please go and get them. Go get that book and learn. I think if this lady in this story have read the Imported Wife book, definitely she would have known better. She would have known how to move. So we're going to talk about imported husband stolen, and then we'll talk about divorced men also cry. I've said this before that women, you are not the only one who get pained when divorce happen. Men also lament. Men also cried a lot, and men cry differently than women. Women will actually cry, they will shed tears, but men, instead of crying, they go the shalaye, shalaye, shalaye. That's what they do. And lastly, we're going to talk about confession of a newly married man. Now, how do we put all of this together? So the first story, imported husband story stolen, is the story of this beautiful sister you see on the screen right now. I have just 4 images on the screen. So the sister that is placed beside Daddy Freeze, that is the sister with the stolen husband. So her story goes that she wants to be married. She went to Africa to get married. I think Nigeria for that matter. So after she went to Africa to find her husband, then Wahala started when she finally brought the husband abroad. She said for 6 months she was the one who is providing and taking care of the home, doing everything. The husband was not doing that much, and which is usually like the story for women who happen to have imported husband. So the husband wasn't doing anything for 6 months, and within that time the husband was making friends with another lady down the street, and before she can say Jack Robinson, the lady down the street have stolen her husband. That's just the brief summary. However, let me quickly play the video. Like I said, I'm going to present all cases and then we can dissect them all together. So please, if you are ready, here is our story. I believe you should have seen the video already, but just to hear from the horse's mouth. Here we go.
I can't keep this anymore. No, I can't hide it anymore. I'm at a stage whereby I think I need to voice out. I need people to hear, my story, what's going on with me. Because I'm at a stage in my life whereby I am beginning to think of you already know what.
That is deep.
I'm 37 years old. I'm not married. I don't have a child. And I feel like my clock is ticking. I've been in this country since I was 12 years old. Please, I need you to pay attention to my story. I've been in this country since I was 12. I've been in few relationships, but it just didn't work. I'm not a bad person. I try my best to be the best that I can be. And I try my best to be the best that I can be with my partners that I've been with in the past. But it just didn't work. I know you can relate. So after so many years, I decided to go to my country in Africa. Because due to advices from different people, that maybe if I go back to Africa, maybe I can find someone and start fresh with the person. So I took their advice and I went there. I intended to stay for at least a month because, I have a reputable job here that I'm doing and I wouldn't want to stay more than necessary. So I intended to stay a month or at most 2 months. So I went to Africa and I met with someone. I met a few people, but I met someone that was really an interesting person. This person was also working somewhere in Africa. They had a job that they were doing. So we became friends for a while. You know, at the time he was 39. He was like 2 years older than I am, and he never been married, nor have any kid. Does not have any kids either. So yeah, so we started dating after knowing each other for a few weeks, and we started dating. And I made my intention known, and he said he was also ready. That he also has been looking for someone that he could settle down with, maybe there in Africa or abroad. It didn't really matter to him, but it looked like we had some things in common. So I ended up staying in Africa for 4 months, more than what I bargained for. And I thought it was worth it at the time. So that way I was able to know him, much better. And he was also, able to know me. So I came back here after 4 months, and we kept, the communication going. And eventually I'm trying to cut the story short. I filed for him. He came here to join me here in abroad. So he was with me for good 6 months without working. He wasn't working because there was no need for him to work at the time, because we're still putting all his documents together and everything. So he was with me. I live in my own house, and he was living with me. I was feeding him, I was clothing him. He didn't have to pay no rent because he was my man. I loved him with everything in me, and he loved me too. I believed he loved me. So yeah, 6 months. It didn't work for 6 months. I was just doing everything. It was worth it because he was my man. I will do anything in this world for the one I love. Anything. It doesn't matter. I will go head over heels with anyone. With anyone. It doesn't matter. If I love you, I will do anything with anyone that I love. And I will still do it again. But I want to put my story out there. I need advice from you, and maybe you can learn a little bit from my story. After like 8 months, uh, this man started talking to someone down the street. He started, like she's also an African person, and she was married before, but she was divorced. And every time I go to work, she's just the only person. She's just the only person I see that they talk back and forth. So I talked to him about this. I said I didn't feel comfortable with their relationship, the way they talk back and forth when I'm around, when I'm not around. They already have each other's numbers and they talk. And he just told me, no, it's just no, there's no string attached, no nothing. It's just like, just talking once in a while, someone to talk to around here. And the lady also say hello to me. She knew it was my man. Cut long story short, you know where the story is going. They started dating without me knowing. All of a sudden, this lady already got pregnant by my man. And eventually I knew what happened. And they came right in front of me and told me that they would do, because, I was pained, I was bitter, I felt betrayed, I felt very bad. I had to confront the lady and let her know how I felt towards the whole thing and how she backstabbed me and betrayed me as a woman. So she told me, well, it's not a big deal. Calculate every penny you spent on this guy. I will give it back to you. I can even double it. And my man, on the other hand, was there with this lady. And you know what this man told me? He said he never loved me, that he was only with me because I brought him here, because I helped him come to abroad. Listen, this is more than how you see it or how you're listening to it right now. I'm so pained. I'm trying to cut this story short. We're no longer together. I refused any amount they offered me. You know, the lady that she was going to give me, she was going to double the amount. I left everything to Kamar. But till today, I'm talking, it's been 3 years now. Why I'm telling you this story is that I think about it every once in a while. I'm still single, by the way. Maybe that's why I feel this pain. You know, that's why it's even more painful. I feel single. I'm single and I'm very miserable. Now I'm almost 40. I feel pain. I'm very miserable. Thank you for listening. If you have any advice for me or any words of prayer or any words of comfort, please send it to me. This is my story. If it what learning from, please learn from this story.
All right. All right. So that's our first story, imported husband stolen. Please pick your pen, jot down your talking points, and get ready for the conversation as we move on to the second story of the day. Again, we are just test driving this new format. Hopefully it works so that our shows can just be limited to maybe 1 hour, at the top 2 hours. Okay. All right, all right. The second story I got for you is the one I called Our Wife. Our wife. Women don't suffer. So you know how this phrase, this our wife thing, is very common in Nigeria settings, especially among the Yorubas, but I think the Igbos are doing the same thing now. What does Igbo called wife? I beg my Igbo brothers and sisters, which one are they call wife for Igbo language? Because I know they are doing the same thing in the Igbo side now. Our wife, our wife, our wife. So what happened is that once a girl is dating a guy and then they seems to have a chemistry, and the girl started visiting him, and the family members and friends, they begin to know her. So there is a way they will address us as our wife, and by calling her our wife, these ladies, they usually felt comfortable thinking that, all right, this relationship will probably end where I want it to end. But in most cases, our wives are never our wives. Our wives don't turn out to be our. Thank you, Simbi. Simbi say, "Unye, odogun." They don't scam my sisters. They well. Please like the show and help us. Please do us a favor. Share our show across platforms. Share in your WhatsApp group everywhere, so that at least people can learn from what we are doing here. We are getting positive reviews. A lot of people are saying that, oh, they really enjoy our shows, that the knowledge we share, it's actually helping in their marriage, and that is like a huge credit as far as I can tell. In fact, one of our beautiful sisters just joined the backstage this morning. Shout out to Sister Cecilia. This sister trial, she actually pay attention to the channel. I have the link to Real Fam Backstage at the top of this channel. If you just look at the bell, you will see the link. So I didn't know she found it. She click it and voila, she appears in the backstage. So please, we are doing a very good job according to all the feedbacks we are getting. And like I've always said, this is not about me. I'm just the coconut head. It is about the real fam. The real fams are the one who actually come here and they help us break down many of these life difficult topics and challenges. You've heard people like Uncle Patrick, Uncle Emeka, Uncle Dayo, my lovely sister, Sister Yinka, Honey Babe, Sisi, everybody. It's not to, I know even if he can't finish, and it don't even stop there. We have younger folks now who are very, very smart and intelligent on this platform too. You've heard from Abby, Simbi, Zeno, Ashley, there are plenty. So please, we are not just playing around, and the only way we can get the channel across to as many people as possible is if we continue to share it across our platform. If you want to use our video here, you are free to use our video. I say this all the time. If you are a content creator and people don't use your video, you won't go far. Once people start using your video, that's when those who get to see your content will now trace your channel and then they will follow. All right, let's go back to this story of our wife. I want you to hear the story firsthand. I'm so sorry to all the sisters that they have scammed with our wife, but listen to this real quick.
As a Nigerian woman, this comment is very true. They will be called, his friends, his family will be calling you our wife. Our wife. And they know that you are not the wife. You know, they know that you're not the one he's going to marry. They know that you're not the one. They know. But they will be calling you our wife. And then you'll be happy. You'll be doing everything for them. You'll be giving them money. You'll be sending them. You'll be sending them money. I have a sister who this thing is happening to right now. This woman gathered all the money to send her husband abroad. And she's back in Nigeria looking after the child and the family of the man. This man is hooked with an Italian woman now. Guess what the family of this man is doing in Nigeria? They have abandoned the wife, the legal wife of the man. They are now calling the Italian girl our wife. That one is sending money, doing all sorts of things. Meanwhile, she doesn't know that this man wants to use him to get papers. I know the man. I've known him since I was 17 years old. I know this woman. This woman is like a sister to me. When I got to know about it, I felt really sorry for her. She's so devastated when she found out that her husband has now taken another woman, an Italian woman, and the family knows about it. And the family are now treating her bad because their son has now gotten an Italian woman who is sending them euros. Meanwhile, the woman does not even know that he's only temporary. When that man is done, after he gets his citizenship, he may not bring my sister. You know, that woman, I consider her a sister. I've known her since I was a teenager. He may not bring the woman abroad. He doesn't even sound like he's planning to bring the woman abroad. But at a point, he will leave that Italian woman and go back to his family in Nigeria. I don't know the woman, but I know the man. He's my brother. I've known him since I was 17 years old. So, you see, they'll be calling you our wife. Don't worry. You're not their wife. You are their short plug, their money, their ATM, their bank. God help you.
This is a lesson to those guys on Snap. It's not all girls you see on Snap that does hook up, okay? Now, you sent me money to come and see.
All right. So that's the story right there. A lot of time they call these ladies our wife, only to disappoint them. So what is your take? Is it okay to call girls or ladies who are yet to be officially married our wife? And as a lady, if they call you our wife, how do you feel? Does that make you proud? Do you feel happy that, hey, I'm the main chick? I've heard this one in Nigeria before. Some girl will definitely know that their man have like 2-3 other women, and they will just be like, oh, I'm the main chick, because she's the one everybody is saying our wife, only to turns out that the guy don't go impregnate another woman or something, and then our wife go now become, oh, na ex-girlfriend. Oh. So let me know what you think about that. And the next... All right. The next story is actually this one deep, small. This one deep. So the next story is divorced men also cried. And the reference to divorced men also cried here, I'm using Daddy Freeze as the reference point. Daddy Freeze, if you get to see this, shout out to you, Baba. All respect to. Okay. We are just trying to share some lessons so that people can learn. All right. Men do cry. A lot of men cry after divorce. I know this might be difficult for some of our aunties or ladies to understand. But you see, men may be forming macho man after divorce. But trust me, many African men, they do not set out to get married and then divorce. I know, at least thank God we are learning now. We are getting to understand women a lot better. So our marriages are becoming sweeter rather than what they used to be. But before, majority of African men, when they get married, Nigerian men especially, they do not envisage the marriage will result in divorce, because if you coming from where we came from, divorce is a sign of failure to men, not just women. It's a big deal. It means as a man, you are not in charge. You are a bad leader. Now, as a man, we can paint it anyhow. We can tell all kinds of story. You know, what a lot of people do after divorce is to paint the image of their woman as a very bad person. But deep down, a lot of people still know that the man is usually the main reason why their marriages crashes. But that is not the story. The story here is about the pain, how people felt the pain, especially men. So one of the things men do when they are pained about their divorce is they continue to talk about it. Please, yeah, the discussion is free. This is just my own view. They talk about it a lot. They always bring their ex into the conversation, which for me, that is not a good thing to do, especially as a man. When you have moved on, when you have remarried, it's not a good thing. But because they are pained, any opportunity, they will always refer to their ex-wife. You hear things like, when I was with my ex-wife, in my last marriage, when my ex-wife did this, they can't just move past it. And one person that has done that severally is our own OAP, a renowned personality in Nigeria, very respected man for the good job he has done in the media industry, Daddy Freeze. If you cannot watch 4 to 5 Daddy Freeze's show that has to do with relationship, and Daddy Freeze will not make reference to his wife. To me, I want to give him credit though. That's a sign that he truly loved that woman. He truly want to be a great dad, a great husband, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. One thing that is common though, all the things that the priest have said, every time he narrated the story of his divorce to his ex-wife, I don't hear him take a lot of accountability anyway. I think he's still coming from that African patriarchy to some extent, but notwithstanding, it shows that he cares, he loves his wife, and he really, really missed that relationship. Another thing that the priest spoke about a lot is the fact that he has not seen his children for a very long time. And I think in this interview with Jude, he also mentioned that I think 9 or 10 years now, he have not set eyes on his children. And that is one area I disagree with him slightly, because you know what? It is one thing to say your wife took your children away from you and she don't want you to see them. It is another thing for you to make effort to see your children, and the woman is going to all lengths to block you, if you know what I mean. So Daddy Freeze will talk about not seeing his children and none of that. Me as a dad, that doesn't go well with me. It is one thing for a marriage to not work out between you, yourself, and your spouse, but your children are not supposed to be part of the battle. They're not supposed to be part of the battle. In fact, I usually said, any man who doesn't fight for their children, they don't want it. And to make matter worse, if a woman left you, if your marriage broke up and your children were taken abroad, bros, do everything within your power to make sure you are in constant in touch. You are constantly in touch with those children. Abroad children are not like Nigerian children. Nigerian children are the one you will say, oh, when they grow up, they're going to find their dad. Our abroad children don't find their dad. So far, their mom find another good man that can step up and play the role of a dad. Bro, your children are gone. You will become a bad person forever. But here is just a snippet from the interview that the Freeze had with Jude. Take a listen.
And I was very cool with my pastor then. I'm not going to mention the name. When I was going through my divorce, it's one of the things that drew me away from the church.
Right.
My pastor came and said, yeah, you can come to the church, but you're going to sit at the back. And I'm like, okay, I'm going through a divorce. I'm getting married to somebody else. So that means I can never bring the person to this church again. Make it make sense. And then, because my brain is like an encyclopedia, I remember John chapter 4, the woman at the well who had 5 husbands and was living with one that was not her husband. Yes. It is so powerful. I've only divorced once.
It's not even yet.
Somebody now tried to interpret that and said, those days the woman had 5 husbands. All of them had died. I'm like, really? That's how 5 people die, and they will not consider you Ogbanji, and another person will allow you to live with them.
Yeah.
All the women that read Bible for me, most of them are divorced in the church or separated. I don't care about that. Right. You're a good person. Even if you're not a good person, our job is to help you become a good person.
All right. So
divorcees and separated women are ostracized by the church. And I believe that's one of the reasons why Osinachi died. Let me break this down to you. The church is not going to chase you for divorcing, but are they going to allow you to be the lead singer?
So people feel like they have to stay.
It happened to me. I was going to church and I was very cool with my pastor then. I'm not going to mention the name. When I was going through my divorce, it's one of the things that drew me away from the church.
Right.
My pastor came and said, yeah, you can come to the church, but you're going to sit at the back. And I'm like, okay, I'm going through a divorce. I'm getting married to somebody else. So that means I can never bring the person to this church again. Make it make sense. And then, because my brain is like an encyclopedia, I remember John chapter 4, the woman at the well who had 5 husbands and was living with one that was not her husband. Yes. It is so powerful. I've only divorced once.
It's not even yet.
Somebody now tried to interpret that and said, those days the woman had 5 husbands. All of them had died. I'm like, really? That's how 5 people die, and they will not consider you Ogbanji, and another person will allow you to live with them.
Yeah.
All the women that read Bible for me, most of them are divorced in the church or separated. I don't care about that. Right. You're a good person. Even if you're not a good person, our job is to help you become a good person.
All right. So that was the interview of Daddy Freeze with Jude. You can go to Jude platform and watch the full episode. I already started a comment from Chucky, which I will get to in a minute. Now, the final story of the day. Thank you for listening to all of this. Let's go to the final story of the day. All right. The final story of the day is coming from Ife Dang. I think that's how they call themselves, right? Can I even see the video? Make I see if I see him or not. It's coming from Ife Dang and his new husband. You know, these two couples, they are content creators. Let's just call it what it is. I don't blame them. They are doing the couples niche, the couples go. How do they call them? Abby. Welcome, Sister Chie and my sister Michelle. So couples go or couples niche or whatever they call their niche. All I know is that they are creating content with their marriage, and which is good. If you really want to make cool money right now, the digital marketing is where the money is at. So they used to push a lot of video out here and there, but I saw this particular video and I'm kind of like, here we go again. Now, I wish them the best of luck. I pray their marriage will last. We enjoy how they are actually showing people how couples should live. But that is not the case here. The case is that on this particular short video they pushed out, the husband, I'm always forgetting the husband name, Aton, or what they call it. Is it Aton or Iton? I don't know, but the husband the husband was praising his wife, and he said, oh, if I have to do it again, I will do it with you. Marriage is sweet. In fact, barely 1 month into marriage, I see that marriage is sweet. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. I've always said one thing here. Before you can actually tell if you have a really, really good marriage, you need solid 5 years. I'm not a relationship expert, but I've used my personal experience and the stories I've heard from other couples as a yardstick to measure it. Before you can tell that, this man I'm with, oh, this is him. This is him. Or you look at the woman and say, at this point, I think I ain't going nowhere. You would have been married for at least 5 good years. Because within that 5 years, unless you two are deceiving each other, una go don't see shege. One person go don't move mad. Either the husband would have moved mad or the wife would have moved mad. In fact, I wanted to do a reaction show to something Dr. Shola shared on his page, which I loved. Dr. Shola said there are, I think, 20 phases of marriage, but a lot of people quit at phase 3. Oh, Michelle is actually 10 years. You see, for those who don't know, Michelle is actually a relationship expert. She's a coach and she's doing a fantastic job. So if you want to talk to a female relationship expert, I recommend Michelle 100%. Because another thing is that besides the fact that I've known Michelle forever, just like Missy, I've known Michelle like forever here. We live in the same city. So Michelle no be outside. Michelle na person will be say, if I enter my motor now, I feel drive, go her house. Michelle's house is just like 17 minutes from my house. In fact, if I follow my backyard, Nigeria would always get backyard. If I follow backyard, Michelle's house is like 13-14 minutes from my house. So I know her very well, and she's a very, very good lady. And besides that, Michelle also went to Bible school. Michelle can hardly do anything without making reference to God. So please check out Michelle's platform. If you need any advice, anything, please reach out to Michelle. Michelle also owns her own dating app, our own dating website, where in case you want to find African husband or African wife, please use her site, because Michelle really do her homework. I've been part of the journey, and this is why it's good not to be lying. Do you remember one time I made an example here when I said I was on dating site, and I told my wife before I get on the dating site that because one of my friends was launching a dating site, and I wanted to test the site to make sure that the site actually worked as advertised. So I called my wife and said, babe, Michelle website. Michelle just launched her website too, and I dated her. I want to enter the website too. So my wife was around me when I was even signing up and everything, and I'm still getting email every week. Michelle, I beg, say, girl, you fit block me. I'm still receiving email every week. New match all the time. Maybe they don't check me out, see my profile. They say, this guy, the way I think this guy will be good. They always want to talk to me. So in case you are searching, please, Michelle is your plug. Michelle, please, if you can send me your link, I would like to share. A lot of our African brothers are looking for wives. Please, they are looking for wives, and some of our sisters are looking for husbands. So now, coming back to the story, Michelle actually say 10 years before you can tell if this is my forever person. Me, I just put it at 5 years, because in this abroad, if you can survive I'm sorry, making a novice. You see, those of us in Jackpot marriage, make anybody not come for me, I beg. Oh, God, help me. So you see, those of us who are imported husbands and imported wives, if you last 5 years together in abroad, I think you guys can go all the way. That's where I'm drawing it from when I said, if you stay together for 5 years, then within 5 years, I don't think somebody can pretend for 5 years, but there are some demons. Yes, there are some demons that they can actually pretend for 5 years. They won't still show their full color. But I think anybody should have shown their true color within 5 years, because with that 5 years, the honeymoon phase will have been over. Your first 1 year will have been over. Work would have set in. God will have blessed you with your children. And in fact, within that 5 years, if you be Igbo, if my Igbo brothers and sisters, now back to back, if you don't get like 3 children within that 5 years, okay. And if you manage, at least depending on God hand the day, but you go don't get at least 1 child or 2 within 5 years. So the pressure will have been pressuring in abroad marriage. As a woman, as a husband and wife, both of you will have been working. The woman would have been working herself to stupor, even the husband. So that boss must have been there. And again, in abroad marriages, there is always temptation. In case you don't know, unless your wife is not a socialite, she's not the type that dress up and look good. But if your wife look really good, like my sisters where I get on this platform, bros, just trust me. Some where a man go see the text side, they look them somehow. And your husband too, if your husband looks good, in this abroad, oh, women will hit on your husband. Honestly. Especially, I don't know of many places. But you see in this Texas where me I did. Maybe any other people that begin to confess their area, but you see in this Texas, Houston, Dallas, Austin. In fact, Austin is still good. I live in Austin because Austin, we are a kind of a close community. If you go play away match, almost everybody go know. But you see Houston and Dallas. So far, your husband look good. Our auntie, they will chase him. So in other words, 5 years is enough for you guys to have seen everything and decide if you want to move forward or not. So when Aton made this statement that, oh, if I have to do it again, I do it with you. Marriage is sweet. You are the best. My brain goes down. Now I see why Ife choose to marry this guy. Because you know what? This guy know what Ife wants. He knows what Ife want to hear. Watch all their videos. He tells Ife exactly what Ife wanted. Now, I give a lot of credit to Ife because Ife is also a beautiful sister. She guided our things together. And when he made those statements, I just look at it like, bro, nobody will marry a woman like Ife that will not say, if I want to do it, I will do it again with you. You know why? Ife is a household name. Ife has already created a brand. She already got her money. She got her life together. Only a madman will marry a woman like that and say, I don't want her. And besides that, Ife seems homely. If you watch their wedding video, you can tell that Ife comes from a very good home, a very good house. She was well raised. Okay. And besides that, she's so very, very educated, just like many of the sisters we have now. So who Ife is the prize? I'm sorry. I don't have anything against this brother. The only thing I have is that I think it is too early to be saying all of those things you are saying, my brother. In case you get to see this video, I love you. I watch your video. I like what you are doing with my sister. But bro, make una dey turn her down. I'm not really a fan of people who get married under 1 or 2 years and you start dishing out marriage advice. You don't know jack. You know why? Because you don't get enough boss in that marriage that you can run from. When you see couples who are together forever, like the two of them don't do weird for each other at times. Either one don't they blow hot, one they blow cool. Besides boss, the two of them have come together, they've worked together, they might have run business together, they might have done so many things together that they both trust each other. So they know like, no one can do this thing with me than this person that I'm with. You feel me? When you see couples like that you see them 10, 15 years together or something, the two of them, they don't do kerewa, so they are not tired of each other. You know, I said something here one time that, when you see this kerewa, and this is where some of my Yoruba brothers, they collect boss. And some of my Igbo brothers too. I know to know of Hausa. Now only Sitana tonight they give us Hausa gist here. But my Igbo brothers, my Yoruba brothers, and my Edo brothers, not everybody, but some of them, when you do kerewa with one woman, after 1 year, 2 years, many of them easily get tired. They somehow just want a different taste. Those are part of where the goals come from. But you see, when you see husband and wife, we say they are still waxing stronger. It doesn't matter 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. They don't do care. So the husband know they tired of the wife. And the wife said, despite seeing the same bowler several times, the wife is still admiring it. So when I see people who just start like this, I just be like, hey, bro, you never know what's up. Your woman never show you shege. Women, when we say their brain, they walk 200 miles an hour. So that is just it. But let me just play this video and hopefully we can react to that. Here we go.
And being married for a few months, I understand why some of my married friends, as soon as they got married, they started telling me, marry, you know, I get it.
So it's sweet, Abi.
See, babe, I don't normally do, if you could go back, what would you change? I won't change anything. But if I could go back, I will marry you quickly. Like, since I wish that we met earlier. This is the married men line. I wish I met you for my wife.
Yeah,
I wish I met you before my wife, because I see what marriage really feels like, and I wish people would experience that, you know. And I understand why most people say that the highest level of fulfillment that you would get in your life is not your job, is not the business that you start, it's actually building a family. After getting married and staying and being married for a few months, I understand why some of my married friends, as soon as they got married, they started telling me, marry, you know, I get it.
So it's sweet, Abi.
See, babe, I don't normally do, if you could go back, what would you change? I won't change anything. But if I could go back, I will marry you quickly. Like, since I wish that we met earlier. This is the married men line. I wish I met you for my wife.
Yeah,
I wish I met you before my wife, because I see what marriage really feels like, and I wish people would experience that, you know. And I understand why most people say that the highest level of fulfillment that you would get in your life is not your job, is not the business that you start, it's actually building a family.
All right. So there you heard it. Those are the 4 stories I have for you, our dear real fam. So if anybody want to hop in the studio, please hop in the studio. If not, as for me, I have how many minutes left? I think I have like 6 minutes left. So if people hop in the studio and we really want to dive into this conversation, I think I will just have to yield or set up the backup studio computer. But if not, I'll just read a couple of comments and then people can leave their take in the chat. So basically, those are the 4 stories I have for you. Confession of a newlywed, divorced men also cry, our wife syndrome, and of course the imported husband. All right, let's take it one step at a time real quick. Let's start with imported husband. The lady I shared this story that went to Nigeria to get married, and now she brought the man over, and before she knew it, her neighbor actually snatched her man. What advice can you give to this lady? Because when she hey, Auntie Grace, how are you doing, ma? I see you, Baba. Welcome. So please tell me, what advice can you give to this lady? And I think Uncle Patrick was on Michelle's show yesterday. I will share the video backstage. I've told you guys, our real fam members that have channels, please, when you post content or anything, share it in the backstage. Share it in the backstage. Now we go support each other, please. Okay, if anytime I see your content, I do share it myself, you can tell, but sometimes I'm too busy. So please, when you post, you go live, you do anything, share it in the backstage. Not everybody have the time. Sometimes our real fam, they are busy, they are working, but when they get home, they are relaxing, they can easily click on the video and catch up. So please, what are the advice for this lady? First off, this is what I would tell any lady who want to go to Nigeria and get married. You have to be mindful of a couple of things. And I will tell you these things from my own personal experience. When I came over to the United States as an imported husband, the first thing that greets me was loneliness. America is one hell of a lonely place. With over 350 million population, you won't believe it. America is still one hell of a fucking lonely place. And why is America so lonely? Is because America is a busy society. It's a capitalist society. Everybody is working. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. In Nigeria, in America, we live to work and we work to live. So when I came over as an imported husband, the first thing that I said, welcome, Uncle Beno, Okabo, is loneliness. And after a while, if you bring an imported husband, after a while, you are leaving this man at home, you go to work. Some of you, like this lady said now, for 6 months, she was the breadwinner and she's working around the clock, which means she might probably possibly be doing overtime. Do you know what it's like for a man to be at home, nobody to talk to, nothing? In a quiet environment, America she has her own home. In fact, people who live in the home, they are even worse. If you live in a home, a whole street, you feel not see anybody. Those are the first thing that greeted me when I came here. My mother-in-law has a very big house, fancy, beautiful house, in a fantastic place in Austin. In fact, when I saw the house, the street, I'm like, wow, and then the reality hit. It's so lonely. So from this lady's story, that man was lonely, and that neighbor probably see somehow they begin to connect, begin talk, and bam. And guess you what? My Shitika is here, but before Shitika take over, I just really want to mention one thing. Many women in America, many African women in America, they want to marry an African man. They want to bring that husband from Africa, believing, you know, I can handle this one. This one is homely. He will be a man. But here's the problem. Majority of those women who want to marry men from Africa, they don't wise. They don't want to go to Africa, marry the man, fight for him, do paper for him, then bring him here. They don't want to do that. I'm telling you this now, my sister, if you are single and you are planning to bring your husband, may you open your eye. Those sisters don't want to go through that stress of going to Nigeria, marry the husband, fight for his paper, bring him over here. But they want a man that has already found his way to America. I don't know much about UK. I'm just speaking about my own country here. When they say man who is already here in America, oh, now hot cake. So that's what happened to that sister. I think this sister was so naive. The moment she noticed the man is talking to that neighbor, that is when she's supposed to have swung into action. Now you just go carry man come America, the other woman come around, and then the man too now madman. Well, I can never unleash. My lovely sister Shitika, how you doing today, man?
Uncle Beno, good evening. Good evening, real fam.
Good evening.
Do you know, Uncle Beno, I have to join the backstage because I've been wondering, I've just been very busy lately, but then I'm going to join you backstage shortly. This is today's stories, Uncle Beno, thank you for bringing them to our awareness.
Thank you, my sister.
I'm very concerned for this lady because I don't know if she's getting the right advice, and I think she wasn't getting the right advice from the beginning. So to start with, if she was bringing a man to join her in America or in the UK or wherever she was, she shouldn't have let him imagine, because by the time his papers have been filed and he's able to arrive, then in most I don't know how it is in the US, but in the UK, once you're able to arrive, then you're able to work. And if you're able to work, it shouldn't be that you're waiting to get the fancy dream job. It should be that you start doing whatever you find. And so she should not have let him feel that it was comfortable for them or for her to be working, because she kept talking about how she'll do anything for anyone she loves and she'll do it all over again. No, that was one mistake she made. And I feel sorry for her, because the fact that she made a mistake doesn't mean that she should have experienced the outcome she experienced. So the first thing is, it is okay. I heard something a few days ago and it kind of made sense to me, that it's okay for you to be with somebody who is not yet making as much as you're making, as long as you're not the one responsible for him. So yes, you filed for him and all of that, but he should know the reality. You should tell him the reality of life abroad, and that you cannot cater for another adult, so that as soon as he arrives, he's not living off your dime, and then you are now the one bending over backwards, making all the money, and then he's taking your money, and then you're worse off for it, insult upon injury. So I think that was one mistake she made, and I pray that other people because the truth is, long distance marriages are still going to happen. But if you are in that situation, please don't let the person feel comfortable that they can come and live off of you. Let them come and know that they have to find whatever work, there's dignity in labor, whatever work they find before they get the work that they dream of. So that's one. Then the second thing is that, in Nigerian law, which is where I qualified before I started working here, there's something called a meddlesome interloper in divorces. That means that somebody who is responsible for the marriage breaking down, the person, and I find that term in law very funny. The person meddled and they interloped. So the law calls them a meddlesome interloper. So it's like they cut into the marriage, a bending corner, they were waiting, they just ambush the marriage. So the thing is, while that silly woman who is the snatcher thinks that she can offer money, she can't offer time. She didn't say, I'll pay you double. Did she go to buy a spouse? She didn't buy a spouse. And she can't offer the time and the emotional investments that it took to be with that person. So if she was receiving legal counsel, which unfortunately many Nigerians would not subscribe to for reasons best known to our culture, where we just sit down and take it and say, let me leave you for karma. Karma doesn't work. Unfortunately, karma is a whore, and that means that she's not loyal. Sometimes she doesn't give bad things to bad people. Sometimes there are times when she works and there are times when she just sits down on her big old butt and doesn't do anything. So in this kind of situation, you take the matter to court, because you can file for divorce and you can sue the person that cheated on your husband, that alienated. There's something called alienation of affection. She alienated his affections. So you can do that because you're bringing the case against him, but also against her. You're joining her to the suit as a third party. So that way, she will not be paying you by saying, let me settle you. No, she'll be paying you a hefty sum, and that guy will probably be reporting to ICE day after tomorrow. So you will be made whole from where you started from. Now, unfortunately, nobody's going to pay you back in your time. But these two people who meddled with you, and they're probably still living down the road from you, so you have to see them when you drive out of your house and drive back in every day. And the pain that has on your spirit, on your soul, only God can heal. So while she said she also requests for prayers, I really do pray for her. I pray that she finds community that gives her a source of a spring in her step, a reason to get up and go. And I pray for healing for her heart. Because it is true, Uncle Beno, you said that divorced men also hurt. Yes, divorced men hurt. Unfortunately, I've met a few. Oh, gosh. Uncle Beno, can't imagine going on a date with somebody and then the person is telling you all about their ex-wife. You're like, what's the point of this date? You should have seen a therapist. You know,
pain.
And it's pain. It's pain. But then the thing is, you the person that is dealing with them, you cannot heal them. They have to heal on their own, or they have to come to you with some measure of healing. They may not be fully healed, but at least you can see that they're taking the steps towards healing. So I pray for her that she finds a way to take steps towards healing. And healing is complicated. It's a process. But at least if she takes one baby step, which is what she's done, talking about it, next baby step, find a therapist, next baby step, find a community.
Thank you.
I just pray for her.
Yeah, thank you, my sister. Now, I don't know how long you've been listening, She Tinker. What's your take on this, our wife syndrome?
Uncle Ben, no. Those deceivers. Don't judge liars and wicked people. The thing is, I feel like it can be terrible, because when you feel it, just know now, if you're dealing with a Nigerian person and their people start calling you our wife, just be on your guard. It doesn't mean you're not their wife, but it very well may mean that you're not their wife, because you don't need that compensation. You need to know the relationship is solid, and our wife by his friends and relatives does not mean anything. Just take it to the bank. It doesn't mean anything. As long as, because there are things that people can say and it makes you feel a sense of security in marriage, or in the relationship, let's just know now that means nothing. find your security elsewhere. Look for security pointers in the solidness of you, in the emotional vulnerability that he has with you and that he shares with you, he offers to you as well, in the space he makes for you in daily things. Don't, in the time he makes for you to communicate with you, don't look for emotional security in our life. It is not real. It is like sun in UK winter. It is not real. When it's sunny on a UK winter day, that sun cannot do anything for you.
Shitinka, did you ever find yourself in this our wife situation while you were younger?
To tell the truth, yes. But I also was not deceived. I did. I remember, yes, I remember back then that it was his, the people in his small group in church and some of his business associates would say, our wife, our wife. This was an ex from many years ago. And I could smell that I could smell that something was fishy. You know, I exited the relationship anyways. And years later, maybe like over 10 years later, like 11 years later, I needed to interact with him on Facebook because he'd done a deal with one of my cousins and I needed to be the go-between. I was not interacting with him at that point. But when I did, he sent a message apologizing for his role in the breakup. So you see, sometimes these people that are on BS, it's not that they don't know, they know that they're on BS. Anybody who is BSing you knows that they're BSing you.
Right.
So we just need to just don't take security in our wife. No, if you're not married, you're not their wife. Period.
Yeah. I learned my lesson a long time ago when I think I was around age 15. My friend was dating a girl, and I know like how many girlfriends will my friend get, but I'm always the one that sounds like the voice of reasoning mostly. And those ladies, they trust me. So now through me that they take connect at times. So when Kasala was, where my friend now impregnated one of the girls, the one where please pass, the one where in mama get money, you know, but in mama they establish the same market. Now that one, they buy up provision, you go bring milk come our house because then we fall living in one room.
The MVP in their friend group.
Oh, she go bring me food. Yeah, nothing where that girl no they bring for our house. So now she when my friend pregnant another like this, everything boss. The day the guy see me, she saw me.
Oh wow.
The guy.
Uncle Beno, you collect?
She tear my clothes to. It was a very painful experience for her too.
Oh dear.
I know they follow people do our wife again.
It's like you're signing shorty for somebody that you cannot guarantee.
You know, some of these experiences live with you. Do you know till this moment, even now as a grown man, if you are my friend, I know your wife, and you begin get girlfriend, they cut you off instantly with that.
Correct.
So because I can't stand the day Kasala go boss, your wife go come begin
they'll look for you.
Oh, Mr. Ben, you too. I can't. So
and they'll take the wahala to Auntie Beno to go and say, see what Uncle Beno is doing, whereas you're not involved.
I know they do. So that our wife thing, I learned my lesson a long time ago. All right, Shitika. Also, please let me address this one more time. Okay, you've addressed divorced men also cry, but with Daddy Freeze, one thing I know a lot of people don't want to talk about Daddy Freeze, but me, we are all content creators. You bring bass, we bring the ghost.
We bring the ghost.
Yeah, I respect him and all of that, but anytime I listen to Daddy Freeze share his story, I see a man who truly loves his wife. Let's be frank, I won't take that in away from him.
His current wife or his ex-wife?
His ex-wife. It seems he truly loves his ex-wife. I won't take it away from
Uncle Beno, okay, so it could be that, but it could also be that he has an unconscious addiction to justifying himself. You know, no, it could be that. It could be that he loved her. It could be that he really loved her. That's one way of looking at it. It could also be, because you know when they say when you really love the person, you can be extremely venomous at the person. But then again, it could be that because you see, he lost a lot in that divorce.
Yeah.
So it could also be that he needs to justify himself and show his story to the public so that he can reclaim what was lost in his public credibility. Because then he became a YouTuber, but before that, he was an OAP, before that, he was an MC, before that, he was very big in the church world of the church he used to attend, which we all know, but we don't want to mention.
Yeah.
So it could be that because of the losses that he had in terms of his professional credibility, he needs to keep pointing this out so that people know that he was not physically in issue, in terms of he was not physically involved. He didn't hurt her physically. Now, because in Nigeria, many times people don't think about emotional DV, they only think about physical DV. So
Yeah.
we don't really know what went on emotionally between them. But he's continued to say that she claims he was involved in physical DV. And the thing is, there's something terrible about being lied against. I don't know whether she's lying or not, I'm not saying that. I'm not vouching for him here. I'm just saying the rationale behind a person always trying to bring up a story. I know what it's like to be lied against.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that story for 10 years because you're trying to show people that that's not how it happened. And sometimes when a person lies against you to the point where they injure your reputation and it affects your pockets or it affects your community, the community you're from, where you find succor, you will feel that need to defend yourself. And it will be an endless need because you've not seen the result being put back together. You've not seen the thing come back together, the reputation being glued back together. It's not something you can measure in physical terms. So you find yourself continuously wanting to explain yourself. And even though they say don't shalaye too much, but they need to shalaye when you're lied against in a way that affects your pockets.
Yeah.
It can be insatiable.
You are right. You're right. You actually, I think you nailed it. You see that there are some accusation that when a woman brought them against you and you know it's a lie, it can really be hurtful. So I kind of relate to what you're saying. Like this beating of a wife, it'd be like me as I did like this. Now if somebody go lie, say I beat her, he go pay me on. Because I can't even beat my own children. But one thing you can say about me that even my auntie for Nigeria go say yes 100%.
Now you do them.
If you say Bell yell at me, my auntie go say yes. If you say Ben was angry, he said something to me, the thing paid me to my bone marrow, my auntie will say check. But that I will beat you. So I think you got this spot on. Thank you. Finally, Ife and Ife husband, 6 months into marriage, you say, "Oh, I wish I had."
Uncle Beno. See, I love Ife. I love her very much, and I love the fact that she's found, joy and in her marriage after so many years of being single, or a lifetime of being single. And I will not lie to you, there's some of their posts that make me cringe since they got married. But also they are not, she has made some posts about how she's going to continue to publicly celebrate her union since she didn't do it in her younger years. But the thing is, I wish that, I don't know how God will help them and give them some wisdom to know what is okay to say and what is not okay to say, because you know how it's difficult for people say it's rough for single people in these streets. Yes, it's rough for single people on social media streets, but it's not even only single people, even married people now have their own concerns about I think it's not safe for a marriage to be so effusive, so publicly effusive, so early on. So early on, so public, so effusive. It's too many so. It just cut it down small. Be a little bit effusive in public, or be a lot effusive in private. But it's there is something called like social media strategy. It exists. There's PR strategy, and even though you can be a content creator, you can be clueless when it comes to PR. And then there's also PR for marriages, because putting a spotlight on a marriage adds its own pressure. Every marriage, every interaction, every relationship have go through pressure points. Now you put a spotlight on it, a public spotlight on it, you're adding another level of a pressure point to it, because everything now gets amplified. What you say to them or don't say to them, even when you make videos, public videos, people will be analyzing you guys to each other, and you're going to see the comments, and you don't need those voices in your head in your marriage. So I pray for them that they find a way to receive wisdom, to only, because there are other content creators, married content creators, who put different types of content, like comical stuff, like Ling and Lam, like the Phoenixes, so I'm not saying don't have marital content, but then this advice is a little too much. Don't give us. We don't want.
Now the advice be well. Person we won't go.
The advice.
Look, my sister, I say all the time. This is where I give people like my brother, Man of Prestige, Auntie B, Uncle Patrick, a lot of people who have the good heart to advise couples, pastors. I give them a lot of credit. I say like this, I know they advise couple.
Uncle Beno, even single people, advising human beings is a dangerous sport. Single people, married people, everybody, all the people. But then now you are doing it for single people and married people, and you were single 6 months ago. Just 6 months ago. Please, it's okay now. We're sorry. We're very sorry.
Oh, thank you, my shit thinker. You are such an angel. Thank you for helping me break it all down. You make a lot of sense.
You're most welcome, Uncle Beno. Lovely catching up with you as always. I'll join the backstage shortly. I'm out and about now, so I'm going to go mute. But when I come out, I'll if there's something to say, I'll jump in again.
No problem. Let me even see, because I have to go. Maybe Honey Babe will be our moderator today. Because I know some people are probably still busy and they may want to add to this. So Honey Babe will actually be moderator, or Abby. I don't know. It's like Abby is still busy too. Honey Babe, Onyika Sola, the lady with the sweet name. Honey, you don't mute yourself, Honey Babe. I can't even hear you now.
Here. Sorry, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, Honey Babe, you know how I really don't like people who work from home. What are you doing right now? Are you sipping coffee, walking?
I'm just having tea. It's about, what is it, 7:30? So we finish. Well, I work from home, but yeah,
all right.
Work. I only hopped in for a bit. I didn't want to stay long.
Okay, cool.
I didn't plan to stay long.
Yeah, I already passed my time, but let's see. Maybe you and I, we can round all this up in like 10 minutes, okay? But first of all, help me to make this make sense. Let us make this announcement together. Ladies and gentlemen of the Real Fam, we have TSC right here on our platform. It's called the Sisters Circle. We are bringing this one hot. So all the sisters, this is your show. We want you to be here so that we can learn together, and we can also help a lot of people who might have been dealing with some real life issues. So we have this new segment, this fantastic show that's gonna come up every Thursday. I think twice a month, right? Honey Babe, is it twice a month for now?
Every 2 weeks for now.
We will look for a way to make it every week, because I can't wait. I can't wait to hear you sisters speak. You know, the last show we did that Abby hosted and you guys came in. I watched that show. I've watched the show like 3 times now. That was like, it sounds like a cool podcast, like the way you guys were interchanging, going with the convo and everything. And then all of a sudden, I begin to realize that it's like, now me gonna be the problem of this channel. I am a terrible host. My sisters are doing a fantastic. Me at the least they sweet me. I'm like, God, why can't I just be like these sisters? So please, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this show. It's the TSC, the Sisters Circle, where they're gonna be covering a lot of real life issues. And of course, your host, there will be Yinkus Pepe, our own Honey Babe, my own fantastic babies. Sissy, not my baby sister. My own fantastic paddy, Sissy. Sissy, not my paddy, not my baby sister. Sissy. Before she come for me. And of course, our baby of the house. when we talk about baby girl, where Sabia Onyo, sweet voice, educated, and analytical mind, plus a touch of bass without letting we, the uncles, may we drink water drop cup. Abby is on the planet too. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one show I don't think you want to miss. And I will tell you right now, these are our sisters. They are putting in a lot of effort in this show. In fact, all the things Abby was sending to me that they've done, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why are women like this? Just one show, now just make it perfect. They don't do their musical background, everything, introduction, everything. Okay, honey babe, why must everything be perfect with you women? No, I don't get it.
I don't know how to describe it. I think it's just from the time we got the green light, it's just us just putting ideas together regarding, you know, the name, regarding the logo, regarding kind of the format of the podcast. All of us, you know, all had input. So I think it's just a joint collaboration with all of the wonderful ladies. And so we all have our ideas, and that's what we came up with. I hope everyone looks forward to it.
Serious. Yesterday, you guys, Abby said, "Oh, what we are considering." She sent me some audio. I created some. By the time you sent me the one you guys did, I'm like, okay, Abby, trash that one I sent to you.
We heard it. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, women. They just do simple, please. They do simple. Anyway. This Thursday is going to be the maiden edition. Please, everybody, we want you to be part of the show. The topic is the weight of strength, unpacking hyper independence in Black women.
Yeah, so
the topic alone is heavy, honey babe. What's up with this?
Yeah, it is. So I think it's just basically it's going to be obviously our first debut podcast, and it's basically a space to discuss as Black women how to unpack the things that shape us. And we're talking about the weight of strength, the way that society, culture, and even the family expect Black women to carry everything without breaking, and what happens when strength becomes too heavy. So we're going to talk about how it affects relationships, the perception of Black women in terms of strength, you know, because there's always this idea that as a Black woman, you have to be totally independent. You have to be the boss. You have to do it all. So we're just unpacking.
Honey babe. You know, I told you guys though, even though we know these are the sister show, there is no way you guys will not receive bad boast from us. So we want you, our women, to be strong. Even though I know saying I won't buy me for saying nothing like strong. But why is it that you guys want to start with these strong women when I want to destroy these strong women believe where we get? Why? You guys are supposed to be strong women.
I understand, but I think it's just something that has been mentioned, and we just thought that it was something that would be a great kind of debut to really get into the meat of the bones of something as important as this particular topic. So we just thought that would be really important to discuss this, and I think we wanted to kind of go out with a bang. Okay. So that's where we decided to choose this particular subject matter.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please mark your calendar. I see Uncle Emeka already set his alarm. Please, everybody, mark your calendar, set your alarm. This is all we can do to support each other. And it's not easy for these sisters to come together and say, okay, let's do this. I think this will go a long way. Yeah, I can feel it in my spirit. It will go a long way. And this is God at work. This type of show is long overdue. This is not TikTok advice. These are advices, expressions, presentations coming from sisters who really took their time to do their homework. And you already know them already. You know, say, like I said, they are perfectionists. No be say they go just turn on camera and start yapping. No. So please let us promote this show. Let us support them. Each of these sisters, they all have YouTube channel, especially Sister Yinkus Pepe and Honey Babe. Yinkus Pepe show, Yinkus Pepe Stock is a YouTube channel. Honey Babe is the Rebuild Blueprint. Sissy don't they take mouth start YouTube now. Ever since I know Sissy. Now, mouth should take start YouTube, but maybe one day Sissy will get there. Abby is too busy to even do YouTube, but please let us support our sisters. Let us share. As soon as we set up the show, we will send it out. You can publish it across platform so that people will turn up that day. We're gonna have fun. The only beg where I go beg will be say, now that you guys are doing the sister circle, when we do our men hangout, nobody should come and grab us by the block also. Honey babe, can you promise?
You want me to
Can you promise us, honey
okay,
babe?
I can. We will try. We will try. I don't want to commit to anything without speaking to my ladies. So all I can do on behalf of the ladies that I'm talking to you is that we will try. I can't do no more than that. We'll try and be in our best behavior.
Okay. You see, that's my sister Chisom. Sister Chisom, how have you been? I know you're always listening in the background. You see, if Sister Chisom can say my full support as always, just know say the show is a hit. So on Thursday, we're gonna have the show. The show will come up by 3:30 p.m. Eastern and 8:30 p.m. BST. That is British Standard Time, right? BST. So please, we will schedule it and we'll put it up here. Thank you, honey babe, for helping me clarify what we have to do with this our fantastic show. Now, honey babe, to round up today's show, I don't know if Abby is free. Abby would have continued the hosting, but if
I
not,
would have liked to have because I've got to go because I need to sort out my son and his homework. But I think for me the only one I really wanted to talk about, but we can talk about all three, was divorced men cry. And in reference to when you said about DF, I'm going to be quite honest. I think I probably got divorced before him. It's been 10 years since I got divorced. And I do believe, regardless of gender, when you get divorced, you go through a process of grieving. You go through grief. You're grieving for the marriage that is no longer there. So I think that some people do not go through the process. Or do go through the process, and then normally they go through the process, they grieve, if necessary, get the additional help, i.e. therapy, counseling, etc., and then successfully they do decide to, start another relationship. When it comes to DF, I think there hasn't been a process of grief because I think he's very bitter and very hurt, and I think that's where the problem is. And instead of him to do the necessary, whether it's Bible or religion that he's into or getting therapy, he channels it by talking about it again and again and again and again. And he's rechurning emotions that he hasn't processed, because I think personally for me, he's so hurt by the accusations that were said. I've been through a divorce, and I've been through a situation where my ex-partner at the time, we've moved on, we've processed a lot of things in 10 years. But at the time, when it was very heated and hot, which it is when you first initiate a divorce, he said a lot of things. And it's almost human to react. I had to get to a place where I remember my friends and my family saying, anything he says, you need to stop reacting, because there's power when someone knows your Achilles heel. There's power when someone will trigger you. They will trigger you to get a reaction out of you. And I think the problem is, in all he's talking, the ex-wife has not said one word, because she's moved on. She's at peace, whatever it is. And I think what I realize is that for some people, he's hurt because she's moved on, whether she's got married or in a state of peace. And I think there is this, like you said, the analogy, divorced men do cry. And I think he's crying out because he's hurt. What is really kind of disturbing to me is that you're crying out, you're hurt, but you still quickly got married. And I think that was the mistake. And I can't tell anybody what to do, where you need to go through the process, because he's always talking about his ex-wife. Why are you not talking about the current wife that you're married to? And I think that's a concern, but it's not really my problem. But I'm just saying this now, that I think this is what happens when you don't do the process. People divorce. I know I don't want to be frivolous, but people divorce every day. And a lot of them get over it, grieve, do the necessary work, i.e. counseling, therapy, and move on. He needs to do the same. So I don't think it's a case of him falling in love. I think it's just a case where he hasn't processed his pain. Eve, I don't know how long it's been divorced, but that's what I see. He hasn't processed his pain.
Honey babe, don't you think he didn't envisage that his first marriage could have ended in divorce?
No, the thing is that for anybody that gets married, and I say this with all, I'm being very serious, no one plans to divorce.
Yeah.
Everybody plans to marry, to stay married. When I got married, I did not think I would get divorced. When DF got married, I don't think he ever thought that he was going to be divorced. So I think it's a shock to everybody when you get to a place where there's no reconciliation, and it comes to a place when you realize that there's nothing more you can do, and the best thing for you to do is to divorce. It's, as I said, to me, it's like deleting. It's a delete in itself, because you're grieving for a marriage that is no longer there. And as I said, you have to go through that process. If not, you'll be like a person like DF, where you're constantly talking about a marriage. He's now been married to his second wife for a number of years. Why are you still talking about your ex-wife? And all I can see, I'm not a therapist, is that he hasn't processed his feelings regarding the marriage that is no longer, because you should be talking about your child with your second wife, talking about your beautiful second wife. Why are you still talking about an ex? Now, I've been divorced for 10 years and I don't talk, I mean, apart from talking about life lessons, when I have to reference my marriage, I don't talk about my ex, apart from the fact that we co-parent together, because I've moved on. And I think, like I said, he needs to move on.
Okay. Would you agree with me that one of the reasons he's probably talking about the ex a lot is because he couldn't see his children? Remember,
you keep, I get what. Yes, it's probably the case.
Honey babe, please remember. The ex took those children outside Nigeria. It's not like somewhere he can just travel within the country and see them. They live outside Nigeria, I think in the US or something. So don't you think that is probably why the pain runs so deep? Because there is something about Nigerian men. We have a lot of Mugu Park Nigerian men, but there are some Nigerian men that, despite their not being good husband, they love their children. Nigerian men, we know they take children play in shots. We know they take children.
I understand.
So I'm coming. Remember, I said this here several times. I give God the glory for where I am with my marriage, and I give God the glory for the kind of wife He gives me. I never prayed to experience any of this, but I've said before, the way I love my children. If something happened, one woman can carry my children. Specific pie on top that thing. No, I don't think I'm the type of man that can fold my hand and see you take my children away. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So
I get what you're saying, but I don't think you know the full picture. I'll let you finish. I don't think you know the full picture. Okay. There has been interviews where he said, and I'm not going to lie, when I was fighting for my son, you do get to a stage where emotionally and mentally it taxes you. And I'm not judging him, but I think he made a decision, and I know he said it in various interviews, I can't quote word for word, where he said he is done. He's not going to allow the wife to use the kids to manipulate him. I can't give you the exact wording, and he made that decision. And then from there, he said something like, if you're not going to allow me to see my children, then why am I going to pay their school fees? This is what he said in a lot of interviews, and even in the most recent interview. So I hear what you're saying. He loves his children, but he made that decision that he's done. Because of mentally, it was affecting him. And I'm not judging him for that. But he made that decision. He disconnected from them. So what I'm trying to say to you, there are many situations where, let me finish, sorry, Uncle Ben. There's many
children. Go ahead.
But I'm telling you what has been in interviews. Comment section, please. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But, please highlight what I said. He said it in various interviews where he said, if you're not going to allow me, thank you very much. If you don't allow me to see my children, I'm not paying their school fees. He has even said he doesn't miss his children. Now, let me land. Now, think about it from the point of view. I went to court back and forth with my child. I was very careful what I said because I wanted access to my child. But you want access to your children, and they're probably grown now, and you're talking rubbish and nonsense about the wife. You're talking rubbish and nonsense about your children. Why would me as 21, I don't know how long old his children are, why would I want to be in contact with a dad that cannot stop talking about me and is talking about my mother and talking about the kids in a very negative factor. So if you love your kids, you shut the hell up about your kids and work behind the scenes to sort some type of relationship with your children. You are not screaming and crying and making noise about your children, because these children, they're social media. They've seen everything he says about the wife and about the kids as well. He has said many times they haven't contacted him and blah, blah, blah. So what I'm trying to say to you is that it works both ways. If you really want to have access to your children, there's a way you move in the background to get access to your children. Even if she's traveled to the US or even Dubai, there's a way you handle yourself. You understand? So I think before you start making out that he loves his children, look at what the actions and the things he has been saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe he's just saying those things to hide his feelings.
Yeah, but when you're doing that, you're not being mature in thinking about, I need access to my children. Because kids, yeah, they will see the way you behave. All they're seeing is a dad that is saying negative stuff about the mom, always talking about them. I don't see my kids, kiniko, all the time. And why would they want to be in contact with him? So part of the issue is that they probably don't even want to be in contact with him. And you know the reason why is because of interviews like this. And the problem is he has said many things that you can't take back. As you know, social media doesn't lie. He has said things that he shouldn't have said about those kids and about the mother of his children. He's not smart. And that's the reason why he's in the situation that he is. And like Mama Five said, he chose to disconnect from his children, to be with, I'm not going to go about adultery because I have an issue with the whole divorce system in Nigeria, but he chose to move on and to marry someone else and have a child with this second woman. He did that, no one else. And he chose to move on and forget about those kids. Because
one thing I have to say, Uncle Benno, is that Honey Babe is right. He talks a little too much. He needs to tone it down. He talks a little too much. Yes, he needs to take the hurt private. You know, we were saying about Ife talking, she and her husband doing a little too much too public, you know. He is doing his pain a little too out loud, and he says things he shouldn't say in the midst of talking about his pain, like talking about how he said, okay, he did explain in the interview with Chude that his kids, you know, he said he was not going to pay their school fees anymore, but he said that part of that was because he lost all his income on account of the publicity she had given her claims of DV. So he said he lost the income, but the kids are not going to know that, and she's not going to be thinking about that. But then if you keep on saying that, well, I did say yes, you're not going to use them as leverage anymore, I'm giving them over to you. Those are not things that kids will want to hear, and that's not something that is going to be suitable or useful for you when you're trying to get a court order for visitation rights or for some sort of parental control.
All right. Oh my God.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that, remember, I've been through divorce, and I've said it, and I'll say this again. My son lives with the dad, but when everything was settled and everything, I had to be talking to my son that because you're living with your dad doesn't mean that mommy doesn't want you. So when you say certain things, kids will take you literally. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you saying that to a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and seeing someone say on social media, oh, you know, everything that, my sister said just now. As a child, I'm not going to be able to be critically analyze what my dad actually meant, and will take it literally. And all I'm going to see is that my daddy doesn't want to make an effort to be with me, which is what the kids probably thought at that time, that's why I said it's better to stop talking. If he really wanted his kids, I think he should stop talking about them, get some type of third-party mediation, and go and beg the wife. Do what you need to do to get access to your children. But some people, it's all about pride, it's about arrogance, and it's about being right. And when it comes to children, it's not about being right.
I wouldn't say beg the wife. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say beg the wife, because in all of this, I don't think the wife is also a saint. I'm sorry. A wife an ex after divorce that is not also making conscious effort for the children to see their dad. No, I won't cut that DFX.
But what made you think, the thing is, I hear what you're saying, but we just told you he stopped contact to move on with his second wife. So why would you assume, I get what you're saying, don't get me wrong, it takes two to tango, and she could have made effort. But what I'm saying to you is that she's seeing him move on with someone else. He started a new life. He's got another child. He's got a new child with his new wife. He hasn't made the effort either. they're both, if you're gonna do it, there has to be balance. Maybe she could have made the effort to persuade her children to look for the father, but at the same time, DF has he looked for the children at the same time.
Yeah, so
There has to be
when we
balance.
say
There has
begging
to be
her,
balance.
Uncle Beno, it's not that he's begging her for anything. It's just that the thing is, she's the one who has access to the children.
Thank you.
And
I
he
think
wants
you got
access to
me.
the
Thank
children. So he needs to coax her. There needs to be a negotiation, and you don't come to negotiation guns blaring. No, you won't get anything like that.
Okay, I agree with what you guys are saying, my sister. Honey Babe, you nailed it. I agree with your point, and thank you, Shitika, too. But I'm just looking at it from the lens of a fellow man like Daddy Freeze. To me, one thing I think Daddy Freeze is doing wrong is speaking about the ex in negative sense. And if I have to advise men who might find themselves in this kind of situation, it doesn't help your cause when you speak bad about your ex, or you are making conscious effort to make your ex look bad. It won't help your cause, because now your ex has moved on. Your ex is with another fantastic man. Your ex don't even have your time. Now you they run the wine. The focus is you want your children in your life. So you will even do more better if Daddy Freezer has used his popularity to say nice thing, even if it is not much about the wife, but at the same time, sending positive messages to the children. Calling their name, telling them, I miss you, I love you, I really wish I can come to the United States. I've applied for visa a couple of times. I didn't get it. I just want you to know that I love you. What happened between your mom and I was wrong. Your mom had her own fault, but I think so far your mother has done a fantastic job. You know, like when you say positive things like that, the children are watching.
I agree with you. But at the same, I agree with you. Maybe he should do that. But I think I'm just seeing the comments, and people are saying he said crazy stuff about his relationship with his children. See, when you say stuff in anger, as much as I talk and kakaka, when it comes to my kids, I know play. I'm very careful what I say and what I don't say, because I am sharing a child with an ex-husband. And I think it's about maturity, that even with your ego, even when you're hurt, you have to cool yourself down and think about your kids. I need access to my kids. Even if I have to beg, and I will say, yes, you have to beg, because she's the one that has influence over them. Even at 21, 22, she can speak to those children that, listen, your daddy wants to speak to you. Please call him. She has influence, which is what my sister was trying to say. It's not about begging, it's using wisdom to get what you want, which is access to your children. So even if he has to sit down with one uncle, one auntie, one relative, sober yourself down to get the result that you want. And the problem I have, I don't see DF doing that, because his ego is what he's all about.
Man, God help us, man. My brotherlies, you guys have to do better. Divorce no be death sentence. Divorce is not the end of the life. So far, you have children. Your children are actually the ultimate prize, as far as me, I can tell. Stop saying nasty things about your ex-wife. In fact, let me give this challenge to Honey Babe and the TSC sisters. Can you guys please help us find a day to do a show on what men can do after divorce, how they can at least maybe pacify their ex, just to be present in their children's life. Can you ladies please research it and do a show on it? We can. We also try to do a show on that, because I just don't like this idea. Maybe because I don't know whether when I come this live the first time, whether I don't get children, I don't know. Me, my children might number one. No.
But you need to. But can I say something? Right. This is. I know. This is specific to
MOP.
This is specific to what my experience is. Like I said, when I decided to divorce, I was very much, maybe because I'm Butiko and everything, let's divorce and let's co-parent. His natural assumption is that the audacity for me to divorce him. And I think for some men, African men, Nigerian men, they're so caught up in their feelings about a woman divorcing or being divorced. They don't want to think about the children. So even being civilized and mature, which is what my standpoint was when I decided to divorce my ex-husband, they're not thinking that way because they're caught up in their emotions. We can talk about it, but I'm going to be honest. I've seen situations where the woman wants to be very rational. You can see your child, kiniko, but the man is still caught up in his feelings. And he still wants to be fighting, screaming, ranting, and demanding. So I think I think we need to be honest that for some men, they're not rational when it comes to being someone divorcing them or being in divorce. Or being
Thank you.
That's actually quite factual. I think some Nigerian men feel like the audacity of you, like, how dare you? And yet sometimes, life happens, right? Unfortunately, it happens. And so, statistically, women file more. But also I find that from my observation, this is not anything statistical. There's no statistic for it, I don't think. But I find that men seem to hurt really deeply to where they can't let it go.
Yes, so it's
women hurt, but they find a way to move on. Maybe because women cry and men sometimes don't. But men, even when I don't know how they process it, but sometimes you find that they're like a dog with a bone. And it doesn't help their mental, it doesn't help their behavior in public, it doesn't help their, Right. And another thing is that some people will never talk about it. You have the one extreme of men talking about it and talking too much, and then you have the other extreme of a man that will never tell you what even happened that caused the divorce. Both are unhealthy.
Thank you, Gary, my sister. I wish I can stay, but I have to go now. This is a super, super interesting conversation. And I have just two amazing sisters in the studio today, and this is so good. Oh my God. The only thing we said, this sister, they don't teach me how to talk like them. We could have done it this way. We could have moved that way. But thank you, Chitinka. Thank you, Honey Babe.
Thank you so much.
On Thursday, we are having the first edition of the Sisters Circle. Yeah. Every ladies out there, this is your show. You got to be part of this show. And your hosts are Sister Yinkus Pepe, the fashionista, my boss sister Yinkus, and of course, Hoyinka Sola, our own Honey Babe, is going to be on the panel. Then we got our Sensei, the soft life sister, and of course, the baby of the house, Abby. They are going to be here on Thursday, and they will dissect this powerful topic. Don't forget, they want to look at the weight. the weight of what again, Honey Babe? That title, it always made me laugh whenever I see the weight of strength. I get it anyway. They want to look at how the strength of a woman can sometimes become overbearing. I think a lot of people need to be part of this show. So please join us on Thursday. Your hosts are ready. It's going to be fun. We, the men, we are going to be in the chat. And I think the format they are using, Honey Babe, I think you guys have a Q&A section towards the end of the show, right? Where we can ask questions.
Yeah, we're still kind of fine-tuning that, but that's what we're thinking of doing.
Honey Babe, I must include that one because me, I'm gonna ask questions. This one when we say let us ask questions. We must ask questions. So everybody come around on Thursday. This is your show. Our sisters, all the sisters out there, this is your show. It's time you guys pick up, and it's time you guys actually let us know how you feel about some of these issues. I trust all the panelists and I trust all our real fam sisters. I know they always bring it 100% all the time. I have to go now. Thank you, Shitika. Thank you, Honey Babe. God bless you for at least hanging
Thank you, Uncle Beno.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you. Always a
I will
pleasure.
see you at the backstage, you Shitinka. May you come.
Yes, so join in. I'm joining.
All right. Thank you, my sister. God bless you. Okay. My final take for today, you already heard it from my sisters there, Honey Babe and Shitinka. Please, men, after divorce, you need to go for therapy. Shout out to Man of Prestige. That is where you need to speak to people like Man of Prestige. After divorce, you have to heal, or else you might think you are doing damage control, not knowing that you are actually creating more damages. Divorce is painful. Men do cry after divorce. We cannot spend all this money to go and marry you people. We bring up wine, down wine. In fact, anybody will go marry Igbo. You go marry woman from Igbo, Bini, Edo, Delta. The kind of stress when they go stress you before you marry that woman come out traditionally. You can't marry her finish. That's both come happen. She can't say she know they go anywhere. Oh, paro. So I think she think her and Honey Babe they were right when they say oh more. Sometimes men don't believe that a woman can divorce them. We cannot pay those up wine, down wine, money for house women, money for down women, umuna for man, umuna for women. What it be umuna for women side? I know who umuna, now men of the compound. House, how the thing one they collect? Have you seen Igbo traditionalist? I can't marry you finish. You can't get married to divorce me for abroad. Oh, paro, you go nowhere. Oh, you can't go. If you carry me go, I'll tell George, I'm sorry, this is her brother, I know. She has to go back and divorce me traditionally. Umada, thank you, Sister Chie. After we don't settle Umuna, settle Umada. You want where you the divorce they go? Don't that punish devil. You are going nowhere. So please, my brother, I know it can be painful, and please let us pray for Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze is a nice man. I think he truly loved his ex-wife. He never expected that marriage to come to an end, and I think Daddy Freeze should also focus more on how to be back in his children's life. I know he's a very great dad. You see the children he's raising now, you can tell that Daddy Freeze loved them so much. And as a man, when you have children from another marriage under your roof and you love them, you take care of them passionately, and yet you have, as a result of divorce, you have your own children somewhere else and you can't love them, you know, it can be crazy. But that is it. As for Ife and her husband, like my Shitinka and I've said, they need to turn that PDA down a little bit. Their marriage is way too young. And they can do their PD everything, it doesn't matter, but giving marital advice. Let me tell you something. Most time when you give people marital advice, some of them are waiting for your marriage to crash. So they can even laugh at you and say, all the advice where you they give, you know, if you apply it to your own marriage. That is why I give a lot of respect to relationship experts like the Man of Prestige, like the Michelle, Love Across Border. I know be smart and I give them a lot of credit too. People that you are trying to help dishing out advice, they are even looking at, okay, let's wait and see how you do. It's not easy. So if her and her husband, they should just take it easy with all those advice. And again, I will end up with my own recommendation. If your marriage have not survived the first 5 years, Biko, no, they give marriage advice. You never know, you never see she buying. Your wife, when you see say is sweet, she feel born pikin finish, make postpartum depression setting. Or you don't know some women after they give birth, they go even get bipolar. There will be this total change in character. And if you don't have the experience, you know that this is coming from somewhere, wahala go happen. Some women after they born finish, you go see them throw away weight everywhere. The fair way you see now that is so beautiful, looking fantastic. She feel born finish now. You go see the pikin go release every part of her body. You don't know what you will get. So, bro, I'm gonna turn her down small. My own thing is okay. Michelle don't talk say na 10 years. My own na 5 years. If your marriage survive 5 years abroad, then your marriage can survive forever. Man of Prestige, Baba. How far I see you? Man of Prestige, why now? Man of Prestige say, oh wow, I am a nika. Turn down PDA. Yes, Man of Prestige. May they not turn down PDA, but at least may they turn down the marital advice. No, they are not there yet. You never know. This marriage thing at university, you know they graduate from F9 plenty. Even we when we there inside, on some issue we still they score F9. You just say Nagari, inside marriage, raising children, doing everything. Yesterday, I still went to Refarm yesterday to go seek advice. I was teaching my son how to wash dishes yesterday. This guy might turn on my tap. I dey where they walk, I dey hear the tap they run. Yeah, the boy they wash plate. They run like 5 minutes. My head won't explode. I run, come down like, bro, what are you doing? By the time I came back, the two, we get this double sink, this thing for our kitchen. Both of them, this boy don't turn water full. How many plates you they wash? I have to run to Real Farm. Real Farm, I beg, go help me get solution. This boy go bankrupt me with water. And then, thank God, this is why I love my Real Farm. I think UD and Itachi, they actually came to my rescue. They were like, okay, Ben, now like this, you go do more. You see, so these are part of marriage. And make I confess now, before I come to Real Farm, say, make una bail me out, say this boy won't finish water. I don't first text my madam. I say, when your son wash plate, he don't the wrong water. My madam, no, he don't even answer me. He said, deal with it. You can imagine. Something where water bill, do you know what it means to pay water bill in America? My wife said, deal with it. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I know who will be my madam. Once she said, deal with it, make her Google deal with it. She don't go give me any advice. But so I quickly run to Real Farm and say, I better go help me. And I stood on his neck yesterday. This boy don't show his sister Shaggy. He go chop finish, drop plate, he no go wash her. Now I say, make them leave the whole plate, he go wash her today. You first vibrate, but I say, like, you go wash the plate. The next thing, guy turn water on. So, you see, in marriage, the simple situation I described to you now, me calling my wife, say, babe, this boy, they run water, how we go take down? She tell me, say, deal with it. If I have not collected gas both in marriage to a point, that kind of ordinary deal with it. If you turn to big fight, that's what marriage is the case. After you tell homie Odogun, deal with it. For plate where the woman are not supposed to watch, I still take my boy, say, make my boy learn how to wash plate. You know, still can't teach us how to do it. You can't say deal with it. So that's the thing we're talking about in marriage. You need to spend years in marriage. Collect your gas both where. If not two can't survive them, now if you can't tell people, say, come, when you see this gas bro, just ignore, just do like this. I haven't seen nothing yet. Thank you, everybody. My sister, Nkenoki. Thank you, Sister Chinye. Thank you for the advice yesterday anyway. Thank you for rescuing me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Man of Prestige, shout out, Baba. Thank you. Man of Prestige say, most deal with it is silent to honestly. Women, very wicked people. Say deal with it. Upon say my baby don't turn white finish. I don't get born here inside marriage. They say deal with it.